Alright, moving on to the next one. This is the solutions for the inverse matrix inverses. To get these inverses, we're going to do it by hand. So you need to take this matrix here and add on this piece, the identity matrix. And you can then do row operations to get the first half to look like the second half does now. And then whatever's at your second half is going to be your inverse matrix. And already notice right here at the beginning, this row is already ready to go if it was the first row up here. Well, I'm not going to deal with that right now. I'm actually just going to take row 1 and subtract row 2 and leave row 2 how it is. And what that does is it makes this number 0, because 1 minus the 1 gives me 0. So I'm going to have 0, and then 7 minus 0, which is going to be 7. 1 minus 0 is 1. And then 0 minus 1 gives me negative 1. And I got 1, 0, 0, 1. And now I'm going to switch the order real quick. So I'm going to put row 2 up top and row 1 on bottom to make it 1, 0, 0, 1. And then 0, 7, 1, negative 1. And all I have to do to make this a 1 is take row 2 and divide the whole thing by 7. And leave row 1 the way it is. 1, 0, 0, 1. And then I have 0, 7, 1/7, negative 1/7. And, oh, just kidding, this piece is just 1. Okay, and now the right half of my matrix here is my inverse because this part is the identity, and so my inverse matrix is 0, 1, 1/7, negative 1/7. Ta-da! So that was actually really, really quick. Let's move on to 8. Tack on the identity matrix there on the end. And when you start doing some row operations to get these to look like the identity, I notice here if I just add my rows right away, take row 1 and add row 2, I'm going to get a 1 out front. I'll leave row 2 the way it is. That's going to give me 1, negative 1, 1, and 1. So a lot of 1s on that first row. Still got negative 3, 8, 0, 1 on that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to now take row 2 and add 3 times row 1. So if you take everything here and times it by 3 and add it to this one, this negative 3 is going to become a 0. So that's what I'm going to do. If you times the entire first row by 3, you get 3, negative 3, 3, and 3. I'm going to add that to the second row. That's going to give me 0, 5, 3, and 4. I'm not going to take this entire second row and just divide by the 5 because I want that to be a 1. So I got row 1, it's just going to stay the way it is. But row 2 is going to be all divided by 5. 1, negative 1, 1, 1. And 0, 1, 3/5, 4/5. And now this one's almost ready to go. If I were to take my first row and add the second one, this would be a 0. So I'm going to do that. Row 1 plus row 2. And then row 2 is just going to stay the same. That's going to give me 1, 0. 1 plus 3/5 comes out to be 8/5. And 1 plus 4/5 is 9/5. And then on the second row, I'm going to get 0, 1, 3/8, 4/5. And the right half of my matrix here is my inverse matrix. So I'm going to write that out. 8/5, 9/5, 3/5, and 4/5. The end inverse matrix there. Okay, let's jump over to 9. I'm going to draw this on and tack on my identity matrix. Just like so. And something I noticed already is this one already has 3, 0. And so I don't want to add my second one to it right now. because that would screw up the 0 part of it. We want to keep that there. I'm going to leave row 1 the way it is right now, but I'm going to take, I noticed that if I were to take this one and times it by 2 to get 6, and add it to that, that'd give me -1, which is awfully close to 1. Really, really close, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take row 2 and add row 1. So my first one's still 3, 0, 1, 0, but I'm going to take, I want to add 2 times row 1. 2 times row 1 is 6, 0, 2, 0. So -7 plus 6 gives me -1. -3 plus 0 is -3. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 0 is 1. Now I'm sitting at this. What I'm going to do now is actually take my first row and divide everything by 3 and let row 2 just be how it is right now. That's going to give me 1, 0, 1/3, 0. So my first row is already solved, it's like done, because it has 1, 0 there. But my next row, I need to do a little bit of work to it to get it where I want it to be. And what I'm going to do is I'm always going to leave row 1 the same, but I'm going to take row 2 and add row 1. And what that's going to do is going to make this first number 0, which is what I need to have it start looking like that. So first row 0, 1, 0, 1/3, 0, and the next row we're going to get 0, -3. 2 plus 1/3 is going to be the same thing as 7/3, and 1 plus 0 gives me 1. And now all I have to do is divide everything by -3 on row 2, and my second row would be good to go. Because -3 divided by -3 is 1. 7/3 divided by -3 is going to give me -7/9. And 1 divided by -3 is -1/3. So now I have my resulting matrix. This here is the identity matrix. So this end here is the inverse matrix of my starting one, which is going to be 1/3, 0, -7/9, and -1/3. The end of that one. Moving on to 10, let's see if we can do this pretty quick. Tack on the identity matrix right there when you get the first one to look like that one. And I notice right now, if I were to take my second one and add the first one, this would be a 1. Or I could take my second one and add 2 times the first one, which will make this 0. That's a lot better. Go for zeros when you can. So I'm going to take row 2 and add 2 times row 1. I'm going to leave row 1 the way it is for a second. But 2 times it would be 2, -16, 2, and 0. So I'm going to take these and add it to this guy here. That's going to give me -2 plus the 2 gives me 0, which was the goal. 19 plus -16 gives me -7. And then 0 plus 2 gives me 2. And 1 plus 0 is going to give me 1. So now I'm at this point. Something that would actually be kind of handy is, since this is 0, I can subtract or add this piece up here, and it won't change the first column at all. So I'm going to take row 1 and just subtract row 2, and that'll give me minus -7, which is the same thing as -8 plus 7, which is going to give me -1, and then 1 minus the 2 gives me -1, and then 0 minus the 1 is going to give me -1. So I have a lot of -1s there. And what I'm going to do for row 2, though, is while I'm at it, I'm going to take row 2 and just divide by -7, because this part's already good to go. I just want that this to be a 1, so I'm going to divide everything by -7. That's going to give me a 1 there. 2 divided by -7 is -2/7. 1 divided by negative 7 is negative 1/7. And now I'm at this, if I were to take just my first one and add my second one, this would be a 0, which would make it that whole first one look like the identity matrix. So I'm going to take row 1 and add row 2, and leave row 2 the way it is. So row 2 is the way it is currently, negative 2/7, negative 1/7. And then my first row, 1, negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Negative 1 plus negative 2/7 is going to give me negative 9/7. And negative 1 plus negative 1/7 is going to be negative 8/7. And that one's done, so my ending matrix there on the right side is the identity matrix, the inverse matrix. Negative 9/7, negative 8/7, negative 2/7, and negative 1/7. That one's done and good to go.